The good news is that firefighters really whipped up on this thing last night. The bad news is that the winds are starting to pick up. We asked the governor about President Obama's visit tomorrow, and she says it's absolutely necessary. Right now, investigators are starting to make their way up the mountain, and it is extremely rough terrain. So when you drink just one of these, it's like drinking about 5 of these. The biggest challenge these crews are facing out here is definitely the winds, and that's actually why it's so dark, because the smoke is just sitting down right on top of us. I took it out to the community to show people who hadn't seen it just yet. It's amazing what just one picture can do and mean to a community. This is what the unit will be out looking for. Smugglers carrying huge backpacks full of pot just like this. 50 extra pounds that these guys have to wear out in this heat, and I can tell you it's not exactly the most breathable material either. Local businesses are also excited because they say it's going to bring them some more dough. Well, Christy, based on the people that came out, it was certainly an emotional funeral inside, as you would imagine. Many people say that it was the father's remarks about Christina that was certainly the most touching part. Outside, the scene here along the street, something that was almost just as touching. Friends, classmates, Tucsonans, Americans, nearly all dressed in white, standing shoulder to shoulder. Rumors of protesters brought many out, including some of Christina's personal little angels.
This is about protecting our family, showing the community in united fronts in wake of one of the largest tragedies in American history. Our community is united, and we're responding in a positive, beautiful, loving way.
I heard that there was going to be a protest, and I don't know if they're here or not, but they are outnumbered.
But protection wasn't the only reason people came.
In support a common cause that, for one girl, I think it's amazing.
For others, it was to honor little Christina, and that includes Emily Dotson, a friend and teammate of hers on the swim team, who turned the very ground she walks on into a tribute.
Little remembrance that says forever young, Christina, never forget, and her date of birth.
Nearly everyone here will tell you it's not about them, it's about Christina and her family. But with a showing like this, it's hard not to walk away with something.
The unity that I feel here, it's very moving.
This was just a horrific crash right into the side of the mountain. We do not have an exact cause at this point, but we do know there was some inclement weather that was going on at the time the helicopter was up in this area. The NTSB will be here tomorrow morning, and they will take over the investigation and help answer that big question of what did happen up there. Now, right now, there are 2 Pima County Sheriff's deputies that are up on top of the mountain up there. They are watching the scene to make sure that it's not disturbed in any way, and at this point, we know 1 fatality, 3 other victims taken to UMC. Now, getting those victims down was a rescue that took several hours and that the crews themselves described as amazing. The original 911 call came from one of the victims inside the helicopter. Shortly after realizing the magnitude of the crash and the obstacles rescue crews would be up against, all different types of crews from across the area mobilized.
Everybody came quickly because there was an emergency, and that's the time to put everything else aside, get in our equipment, whether it's a helicopter, a fire truck, or a heavy rescue truck that brings the TRT equipment to the scene, and go to work, and that's exactly what they did today.
The crews quickly surveyed the area, then went to work, both on the ground and in the air.
They were able to get them out. Davis Mothin provided their helicopters up there. They used a basket to lower it down, extricate the individuals out, bring them down to waiting ambulances, and then another chopper was there to take them and transport them to the hospital.
But the victims weren't the only ones at risk. Crews say the helicopter was teetering on the edge of the mountain, then the rough terrain and heavy wind only made it worse.
If there's ever a scene where you felt like you were in danger, this was it.
But even with the treacherous and dangerous conditions on the ground, he says the real credit should go to those in the air.
The PJs were amazing. They did exactly what they do, and without them, we'd still be up there.
Once back down the mountain, that's when crews say it all started to hit them, that they had just lost one of their own. This river may not look all that dangerous, but when you get in,
swimmer in the water!
That can quickly change.
And the water looks fairly calm, but within a few seconds, you're going to be all the way downstream.
These guys are practicing all kinds of ways to save people, from rope throws to rescue swimmers to other ways that take more of a team effort. Well, these guys are here training. I figured why not help them out. I'm going to jump in and have them save me. Not knowing what I was doing, I just floated downriver. Moments later, they just grabbed me and pulled me out, over and over and over. I sort of felt like a big pain in the butt, but they say I was just good training.
You don't know how to help yourself swim out of this. We do, so we actually have to provide even more care than, say, if we had another person that is an extremely strong swimmer and on a rescue team. in the water with us.
And that's good, because they'll be doing this for real very soon.
You'll hear calls go out all the time for swiftwater rescue. So if it's not us, it's the city. If it's not the city, it's rural metro. And again, this is perfect timing, perfect reminder.
Firefighters say they hope they never have to use all this training, but they know somebody will get stranded. If it's you, be assured you won't be left hanging.